Hello, good evening guys. Today is August 4, 2019. It's Sunday, so kanina nag-lunch kami sa Densios. Ngayon naman, merienda time. So ito po ay 6 glazed donuts from Krispy Kreme. Pero dalawa lang kakainin ko dito. Then, ito po ang tinatawag ng mga salted egg buns. So kakainin ko tong isang nasa dulo kasi kinain ko na yung dalawa ko yesterday. Siyempre kailangan magtira para sa iba. And also, ice cream. So, dahil uso ngayon ng avocado, ito po, gumawa ng homemade avocado. Kita nyo ba? Ewan ko kung paano gagawin natin. Ayan, basta ito. Homemade avocado ice cream. Gumawa si Marge. Si Margie, yung wife ko. So, ito po ay avocado, sugar, and heavy cream. Tapos ito, nagtimpla na rin ako ng 3 spoons of Ovaltine and powdered milk. Para saan? Para dito po sa new bake na white bread. Ayan, 37 pesos lang. So actually, 450 grams siya. Ang alam ko. Kanina nag-check out sa hypermarket. Yung mga 450 grams, medyo sulit sila. 35 pesos. For some reason, nung nakita ko to, additional 2 pesos. Tapos may mga iron and fiber. Tapos parang brand niya ay Gardenia. So parang additional 2 pesos for the brand, diba? For the trust. So, ayan, binili ko siya. So, it's time to eat. Actually, pinause lang namin yung TV. Nanonood kami sa YouTube ngayon ng Victory Fort Bonifacio service, worship service. Okay? So, before namin i-play yung TV, maririnig yung preaching. Inom muna ako ng 4 na Lux products as usual. Lux White Enhanced Glutathione, Lux Slim L-Carnitine and Green Tea Extract, Lux Protect Pure Grapeseed Extract, and Lux Renew 8-Berry Extract. So what time is it? It's 6:50 p.m. So parang merienda / dinner ko na ito. Kung di pa kayo kumakain, sabayan nyo ako. Hopefully, mag-enjoy kayo manood habang kumakain. Okay? So I'll pray, drink 1 capsule each habang nagsisimba, habang kumakain. Okay? So para sa mga hindi pa nakakapagsimba, para mga hindi nakakaalam, pwede na po kayo manood ng preachings sa online, just in case hindi kayo makapunta. For example, ngayon umuulan, sobrang lakas, or malayo yung simbahan, or gusto niyo makarinig ng Christian Bible-based preachings. So, pwede kayo pumunta sa YouTube, type niyo Victory Christian Fellowship. Ang favorite lang namin talaga ang panoorin ay sa Victory Fort, Taglish. Tapos, ang pastor ay si Jeff Jeff Ellis Cupides. So, baka lang magustuhan nyo rin panoorin siya. Biblical po lahat ng tinuturo. Maraming nakakatawa din para masaya. Tapos, may wife din po siya and kids. So, mas makaka-relate siya sa real life situation nating mga viewers, brothers and sisters in Christ. Okay? So, I'll start eating in a while. Play na namin yung video. Actually, pwede siyang live stream, pero Saturday service ito. Saturday worship service. So, pinapanood namin today, which is Sunday, August 4. Okay? Mimi, pwede mo i-play. Lagay mo natin sa freezer pala tong ice cream. Sinabi. Lux White and has glutathione. Ang nahulog. Lux Slim. Lux Renew. And Lux Protect.
Broken situations can break our perspective of God. When we are in broken situation, there's a tendency for us to look God differently. Anybody here, you blame God sa sitwasyon mo? Was there a time you think that God was not present? Because pag tayo po ay nasa midst of broken situation, it either blurred or breaks our perspective about God. We run away from God. You know those atheists? I mean atheists, they don't believe in God. If you really dig deeper, it's not that they don't believe that there's a God or not. If you really dig deeper, marami silang mga hugot. Marami silang mga hinanakit sa Diyos. Eh kung may Diyos, ba't namatay yung tatay ko? Mga kung may Diyos, bakit yung nanay ko? Kung may Diyos, bakit buhay pa to? Di ba? Kung talagang may Diyos, bakit may masasama nangyayari? And if you look at atheists, they have this deeper regret about trusting God in the first place, and they just came to a conclusion, there's no God. Pero if you look deeper, they have this brokenness. So, let's look. Sabi dito, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. Nakakalungkot. And then sabi dito, there's also a large crowd following her. She was accompanied by another crowd, but this crowd are not rejoicing, these crowds are mourning. Umiiyak. In fact, may flute na hinahire ng mga tao that time para mag-ano ng mga punebre, yung mga tugtog na pangpatay. Nagmula sa lupa. Yung mga ganon. Okay, so, yung parang ang lungkot. Tapos, there's this noisy crowd na joyfully celebrating with Jesus, and there's this another noise that is really mourning. They're wailing and weeping. Lungkot na lungkot sila. And that's the situation of this widow. And maybe you're not a widow. I'm not a widower. But maybe there's something about her that we can relate to. Maybe some of us have come to a conclusion, wala nang pag-asa tong buhay ko. I was talking to a lot of people. I mean, every day, there's a sense of parang hopelessness. Sa phone, pag may counseling, wala nang pag-asa to, marriage namin. I mean, kahapon lang, I was talking to a friend, wala nang pag-asa. Nanay lang siya, pero hindi siya asawa. Yung mga ganun drama. Ang ganda ng hugot mo, mga gamit ko bukas yan. Kaya gusto kong kinakausap kayo, yung mga counseling ko sa inyo, may pinagbuhugutan ako. But seriously, can we relate to this widow? Maybe your past is so bitter. Or maybe your present circumstances sobrang agonizing, Pastor. Yung aldi kong anak, yung biyanan ko, yung asawa ko, yung finances ko, I don't know, and maybe you're looking at the future as hopeless and dreadful. That's why a lot of people, I mean, in most countries, in Japan, they just resort to suicide. Because wala na. So thanks be to God, may Diyos tayo. That's not the end. Because when he continues, sabi, when the Lord saw, everybody say saw. You know the word saw? I mean, God looks at the crowd, it's not just a faceless mob to Him. Hindi yung kakamukha lang tabas ng mga tao na to. Isa lang ang tabas. No. They were individuals in whom we had a personal interest to. They were like sheep without shepherd. When Jesus saw the crowd, He had compassion on them. The word saw here means horao. Okay? I don't know kung ano ibig sabihin niya, kung tama, pero it's a Greek word that means to see with the mind. Spiritually. Nakita kita, hindi lang physical. It means a perceive with inward spiritual perception. It means I see what you mean. Yung naiintindihan ko yung pinaghuhugutan mo. Nakita ko na yung sinasabi mo. You see the Lord's compassion here that we're talking about? When He saw her tear-stained face, habang papalapit siya sa procession, Jesus felt great compassion for this woman. But it appears, look up here, it's very important, hindi lang siya saw na on that day nakita, I believe, Jesus saw her way back. Jesus saw her, sinadya to ni Jesus. It's as if He experienced long before it just happened na napadaan siya. I'll tell you why, okay? He had clearly planned to be there in our moment of need. I'll tell you why. Habang inaaral namin to, grabe ka, Lord. Sinadya niya yung babae. I'll show you the map. Okay? That's where Capernaum is. Nakita nyo? Ito yung Nain. And normally, a rabbi or a teacher will go from town to town. Strategically speaking, if Jesus wants to share, lahat, dadaanan niya, Magdala, yung Tiberias, yung Cana, yung Nazareth, ito, Simron, Maghinegin, sa kanan siya pupunta sa Nain. Alam niyo kung gaano kalayo yan? It's around 22 to 25 miles. Isang araw na lakaran tayo. Hindi siya next town. In fact, Nain was never mentioned in the Bible again. It was a small farming village at Jesus' time, nestled against Mount More. In fact, yung Sea of Galilee, pag tinignan mo po yung Capernaum, nasa 600 feet below siya ng Sea of Galilee. Alam niyo, kay Nain, 700 feet above sea level. So, paakyat! It's a back-breaking uphill climb from Capernaum to Nain. In fact, if you go there, kaya konti lang inhabitants ka, hanggang ngayon, buhay yung Nain. Small town. But why will Jesus go one day's journey para sadyain lang yung isang babae? Kaya when he saw, hindi lang yun yung, ay, napadaan tayo, may libing ah. No.
Alam niya.
At the right timing, tiniming na ni Jesus, paggabi, kasi that's where the time nilalabas yung mga patay, Jesus was there, not consequentially or not incidentally, not accidentally, he planned because he saw. How about that? Ikaw naman pinagdadaanan ngayon. Kala mo hindi alam ni Lord yan? Kala mo hindi nakikita ni Lord yung pighati mo? Nararamdaman niya because he was once there before. Naging tao rin siya, katulad natin. So if you look at this, next verse, when Jesus saw her, I love this verse. In the Message Bible, it says, his heart broke. Sino dito yung broken-hearted ka na? Come on! Eh? Kasi mga minimit mo, nasa dating app. Hello? I'm not against dating app, ano? Yung mga kaibigan ako nakakita lang medyo tama dyan. Pero kanina lang, I was reading a tweet na meet sa dating app, binroke yung heart ka dahil gusto lang sex. Hello? I'm not saying lahat ng nandun nilang habol. But, do the math. Doon ka tumatambay na makaka-relationship mo. Baka ma-broken-hearted ka. But this is a different broken-heartedness ni Jesus. The word that was used there was the word compassion.
Lagyan natin sa ref to.
Ang hirap bigkasin na to. Kung may anak kayo, ito pangalan nyo, okay? O aso. Ispang sinomay! Halika!
Ni Zomay.
Sinomay! Aplito mo pa, Eliscopides, ano? Ano yung pangalan? Ispang sinomay! Halika dito! Parang hirap, ano? You know the word is from sinomay? Siomay ang nickname niyan. It means an inward part. It means the gut. It means the intestine. Hindi na alam ng mga tao that time, ano ipapangalan sa mga inner intestine. It means the nobler entrails like the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidney. It was the responsibility of the community alagaan yung widow, but then Jesus had a heart for her. Alam niyo ba, it's the seat of emotion. Nung sinabi, I have compassion for you, hindi lang ako, kaya mo yan.
Kaya mo yan.
Nawa ko sa'yo. Kaya mo yan, hindi na. I mean, si Jesus could have said, halika na, padaanin lang natin yung burol, yung libing, tapos uwi na tayo kung saan tayo pupunta. And the people were kind of confused. Jesus, magpatay na dito, patay na yan, wala tayo magagawa, magbubukod tayo ito, magkantay ng mga ito, palakarin natin yung mga bulag, and all. So, alakalaka naman yan. So, he could have just passed by and assumed that the town would rally around this widow and just will fend for her. But no, see, Jesus had compassion because he saw her. Even before the first time nakita sila, I believe he saw her because he's God as well. Nakita niya, na-x-ray niya, na-MRI niya yung puso, and his heart was broken towards this woman. And then let's continue, ano yung broke? It says here, Jesus was having a gut reaction. That's what it meant, had compassion. A feeling of deep pity and compassion for the plight of this grieving, destitute widow. You know what, sometimes, nagkaroon tayo kaibigan, yung kwento ko ng kwento, may pinagdadaanan ka, siya naman yung nagsiselfone. Oo, ano mo, I feel you. Sino dito naniniwala? Hindi totoong you feel me, tama? Sometimes we're like that. Minsan meron tayong mga kasamahan sa trabaho na may pinagdadaanan or hirap sa buhay or whatever, pero ikaw parang hindi mo pansin, right? I remember our fellow pastor, you know Pastor Emil? Si Pastor Emil, he heads our pastoral department. So lahat ng KBL, yung kasal, bigyan sa kanya. Okay, so pang-pastoral talaga siya. Kasi yung heart talaga, Pastor Emil talaga pang-pastoral siya, okay? Pag-counseling, nakangiti. Sa akin, wala akong taga sa counseling. Wala mo yan, di ba? Para makawin tayo. Tagal naman yung gito. So hindi mo ba natutunan? Si Pastor Emil talaga heart ka parang heart for pastoral. But anyway, Pastor Emil is a type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes yung inborn, right? Now, si Pastor Emil, pagkasama mo sa meeting, lumitan ng meeting, maglalabas ng injection niya, kulo ng injection, na isusulat. Tapos kami nag-i-inject yan, dahil ano, drugs ba yan? Di-inject, parang 4 times a day. So makikita mo siya, kung 4 times sa meeting, lalabas yung, alam niyo to, yung pang ganyan, yung glucometer. Tapos, tigatin mo, ganyan. Wala akong pakialam nun. Until si Grace, paglabas nung kanyang, yung gallbladder niya, the doctor found out she's type 2 diabetes. 300 plus yung sugar level niya. Every day. Yan ang ginagawa ko sa kanya. Every morning, bago ko maghilamos, kinukuha na ko siya ng dugo. Paggabi, sinasaksakan ko siya ng insulin, natuto ko magsaksak. You know what? Ngayon, pag nakita ko si Pastor Emil, hawa-hawa ako sa kanya. Sabi ko, Emil, ano naman itutulong ko sa'yo? Because when we are just passive until it becomes personal, isn't it?
Yes.
Until you experience it firsthand. That's why when you say, I feel you. Do you really feel the person? You know the word empathy. I want to put myself into your shoes. Every time ko sa pastor, every pinag-usapan ng diabetes, kumusta sugar mo ngayon? Check mo nga, Emil. Kasi takot ako kay Grace. Pagkano kanina, 122, ang ganda lang, celebrate kami, nag-ice cream kami. May 200 plus na lang. Ang bihira yan, no? Nag-celebrate at 222 lang, ano? But anyway, yung parang feel ko siya. Pag nakikita ko siya nagsasaksak ngayon, gusto ko tulungan, hawakan kita, Emil. Kasi kita-kita ko sa sinasaksak mo ng insulin. Until it becomes personal. I'll tell you something, Jesus took it personally. He came not just from Capernaum to Nain, He came from heaven to earth. Just so you know, He's serious about you. He could have sent an angel. Ayusin mo nga yung problema sa earth. Gawa ang bagong Adam at Eve. Gawing mundo riyan, ang ilapitan. I mean, he could have done that, di ba? I mean, he could have done that. Imagine si Adam at si Eve. Imagine naman yung serpent, you will become like God. Guys, God, Jesus is so serious about you and me. He took this matter personally. And look up here. Now, when the Lord saw her, His heart went out to her, and He said, "Wow, this is the most insensitive for me." Seemingly,
Yeah.
2 words in the Bible. Don't cry. Parang, can you picture the moment? I mean, guys, I told you, pag sa Bible, be imaginative. Picture this with me. Everyone was crying, everyone was consoling the woman. Alam, tutulong kami, kung kailangan. Because si Jesus, wala pa sinasabi si Jesus, lumapit lang siya, full of compassion, sabi, don't cry. I don't know kung kakanta siya for me, Argentina. Hindi ko alam kung Argentina pangalan ng babae, pero sabi ko niya, don't cry. Just 2 words.
Okay na yan.
Kung you're here, pag may nakikipaglamay ka, ito yung mga sinasabi mo, alam mo, huwag ka na umiyak, He's in a better place now. Hindi mo alam kung sa impyerno napunta yun. Ano mo impyerno rito sa asawa mo, pero mas gusto siguro na asawa mo sa impyerno kaysa tanas. I don't know. Sino-sino dito? Pagka mauusapan lang sa'yo, mara okay lang yan, una-una lang yan. Di ba? Nakaka-comfort naman yan, una-una lang, di ba? Have you heard those words na comforting? Alam mo, buti na lang ganyan nangyari sa kanya. Eh, nabangsa ko sa diyan, naipit sa train. Di ba yun?
Buti na lang.
You're napaka-insensitive. And seemingly, Jesus was so insensitive right here. I mean, don't cry.
Ano namatayan?
I don't know, maybe the whole crowd, dahil naman nakilala si Jesus, sino itong lalaki na to? Bigla lang sabihin mo, pumiyak. Eh, umuupa pa sila ng professional crying ladies. Ano ba yun? Yeah, seriously. They hire crying ladies. And remember the story nung papagaling ni Jesus yung bata, and then the crying ladies, the rented ladies, para umiyak, already sabi ni Jesus, palabasin mo itong mga crying ladies. They hired women to cry with flute. And Jesus saying, don't cry. And then look at the next verse. He backed it out. The words backed up by action. Then he went up and touched the bier. We don't know about touching the bier because we're not Jew. But during that time, anything that's attached to a dead person, hinawakan mo, you will be unclean.
Unclean.
Kaya merong apat na post, meron na apat na lalaki. Hindi nila hinahawakan, hawak nila yung kahoy, pero Jesus touches yung bangkay. And the people were just, hindi alam yung cost ng money, because when you touch a dead body, you will be considered unclean. You know what happened? Dadaling ka sa quarantine. You'll be there for weeks, and then you will be declared clean after ceremonial cleansing and all. So walang mahawak sa damit, sa bangkay, sa stretcher na yun. Wala. And Jesus touched the bier, and that's the reason why the bearer stood still. So parang bad trip na to na sinabing don't cry, hinawakan pa yung bangkay. What are you thinking? Jesus was willing to be unclean. But you know, if you touch a leper, by nature, makahawa ka. Kaya pag tinawakan din ng leper, you're unclean. Asama ka nila yung quarantine. And that's a normal way of life. If you touch someone na may sakit, ikaw yung mahahawa. But Jesus is different. Siya yung nangahawa. Ni-reverse niya yung natural flow of filth. Pag hinawakan niya, umaayos. Hindi siya nadadamay. Everything that Jesus touches, nababago. And then, he talked to the guy. This is so weird. Ito, dito na ako. Nagtakbuhan siguro sila o whatever. Weird na to. Kasi, sino ito kung usap ka na ng pangkay? I mean, siguro ako pigatiban mo, iniwan. Pero, hindi mo expect sumagot, di ba? Wait na, susunod ka. Okay, so, mag-alala, okay? I mean, when you talk to a dead person, normally it's out of grief. Then when Jesus was talking, he's expecting a response. Jesus stood face to face with your and my worst enemy, which is death.
Yeah.
He stood face to face with death, and with the ring of divine authority, he exercised his power over it. Remember, this is the first dead person na bubuhayin niya. May dalawa pa. And he raised that person from the dead. And then sinabi niya, young man, I say to you,
Hindi pa okay yun.
kung sa nanay mo, don't cry, to you, get up. Now,
Galing.
imagine yung nagpo-flute. Pinahinto ni Jesus dahil ang tugtog na, di ba? Yung lupa, di ba? Yung mula sa lupa. Ginawa niya Maroon 5. Okay, so, I got feelings. I mean, Jesus stood there and said, get up. You know what happened? Look up here. Hindi later, hindi after 2 days, hindi after few minutes, right at that moment, the dead man sat up. Ah! Imagine mo yung may hawak. Ah! Hindi sa totoo lang. Pinaglamayan niyo yun. Nanalo ka sa tong it's dahil ilang araw nang nandun. Nagpabuloy ka. Puti na yung mukha. Nakita mong patay. And now, umupo at nagsalita. Pagdating ko sa langit, hanapin ko. Tapos sasabihin ko, ano yung sinabi mo? Kasi hindi sinabi sa Bible. Ano yung sinabi niya? Ano, doon ko sa po. Kayo kape ko yun? I don't know. Hindi ka to speak.
Hintayin natin yung ice cream.
You know why he spoke? It's a proof that the power of God, when He touches something, the healing is instantaneous and not progressive. Hindi siya yung gumagalaw-galaw na-coma pa ng 3 days. After 3 days, balikan nyo, yung coma niya, gagalaw na yan. Hindi! Pagpapalya, parang nangyari. Dude, ano to? Nangyari dito. Dapat ka okay na yan. Bakit party mo ba na? Tumahimik ka, namatay ka! Di ba? Ang labo, no?
So anyway,
Hindi siya nakamatos pa ng ilang linggo. Hindi siya gumalaw-galaw yung kamay na ang tagal ng drama.
ayan. Hintay ko na lang maging matigas
You know, the
yung
grace of
ice
God
cream.
can
Tapos
turn
kain
our
na
tests
kami.
into testimonies.
So, thank you for joining.
The grace of God can turn